The Lake District in Cumbria, that's probably where the majority of people know in this part of the world. It grabs a lot of the headlines, a lot of the attention. But believe me, tonight, Derwent Park is the place to be. Workington Town take on the champions Wigan, live and exclusive here. And they have had fireworks, they've had dancing girls on the pitch, and they have Mr. Workington Town himself, Tom Mitchell, the one and only, leading out the Workington team tonight for this, the big league kickoff. Steve-O, this fellow is one of the legendary figures in the game.
He certainly is. 50 years with the Workington team, the godfather of rugby league, the tour manager, of course, and the successful Ashes Tour in 1958. A credit to the game of rugby league, and it's great to see him being given the honour to lead out this new Workington Town side.
The Rugby Football League, of course, celebrating its centenary, but it's 50 years since Workington Town became a member club. And just listen to the welcome for the champions. Boos all round the ground as the men in cherry and white hoops and blonde wigs, perhaps, come out onto this field. Phil McKenzie is now part and parcel of the coaching team here at Workington Town. He and Billy McGinty are plotting the downfall, they hope, of Wigan tonight. McGinty, of course, a former Wigan favourite. He enjoyed the best period of his career at Central Park, and it was the World Club Championship in Brisbane that brought the curtain down on McGinty's Wigan career. Let's check the sides for you. Workington have got Peter Livett, their rookie fullback, Penrice, Burns, Frace and Johnson, Kitchen and Marwood. And then up front, it's Schubert, McKenzie, who's the captain, and Phillips, Armstrong, McGinty and Holgate. And on the bench, Pape, Gawley, Stainton and Riley. And the coaches, Billy McGinty and Phil McKenzie. Difficult job with both of them out there on the field. Sean Edwards, the man who calls all the shots for the champions. And this is the Wigan side. Rudlinski, Robinson, Twiggamala, Connolly, O'Fire, Paul and Edwards, who is, of course, the captain. Skerritt, Hall, O'Connor, Horton, Cassidy and Farrell. And on the bench, Johnson, Quinnell, Smythe and Dermott. And, of course, the coach is Graham West. Well, before we start here tonight, there will be a minute's silence for a former leading Grade 1 referee, Charlie Tidball, who died on the 21st of July, aged 46. Sad moments for referee Stuart Cummings. Tonight's official, Mr. Tidball, was a Grade 1 referee, an international touch judge, and he had been appointed for the upcoming Halifax Rugby League Centenary World Cup as a touch judge. Minute's silence for him, impeccably observed. Right, we're down to business. We're down to big league business. The Centenary Championship season is about to get underway. We're live and exclusive here at Derwent Park as Workington and Wigan get the Stones Bidder Centenary season underway. Great roar as Marwood kicks off. An early touch for Henry Paul and offside at the kickoff against Workington.
That shows you how eager Town are to get involved in this game. Silly penalty to give away.
Skerritt with the driving run for Wigan.
You can see quite clearly there was at least 4 or 5 players in front of the kicker. Well spotted by the referee Stuart Cummings.
That's one of the new points in the charter that Greg McCallum has issued. There's nothing much in the charter to try and stop men like Andy Farrell, but Workington managed it then. Martin Hall, the dummy half. Edwards, Hall on the runaround, looking for Twiggamala and finds him. And Twiggamala again attracting 3 Workington defenders to him. He gets up, plays the ball to Martin Hall. There is the big figure of Terry O'Connor. Wasn't in the side this morning. Neil Cowie with a groin strain, and O'Connor comes in. He now picks himself up. Hall is the dummy half. There's Edwards. Angled kick from Edwards, looking out wide for Robinson, who soars and gets it, offloads the ball. They keep the movement going. This is a fire. He finds Edwards, and the referee's whistle is gone.
I think you'll find that there's a knock-on from Robinson on the last tackle. That'll be the turnover. The crowd was screaming. Well, did he go backwards? From a little bit further on than that, you can't see it. Touch judge very quick to help the referee Cummins on that occasion. That's what we like to see. But it is, no doubt about it.
So the referee brought play back to where that knock-on occurred, and Workington have possession here with Marwood. Marwood flattered by the huge figure of Andy Farrell. Big favourite on these terraces at Derwent Park is big Colin Armstrong, and he looks bigger than ever. And Roland Phillips drives it up down the middle for Workington Town. Now firmly a Workington player. £40,000 deal sorted out this week. Marwood with a kick into the corner. Henry Paul picks it up and feeds Radlinski.
Well, we knew that the fullbacks were going to get peppered early in the game, but Radlinski didn't have much problem with that one. It was far too deep. They've got to try to get it a little bit higher so that the Workington Town attack can get underneath it. But we expected, Eddie, some real tough tackling from this Workington 6, and we're getting it.
Question is, can they keep it up? Although the sun has gone in here at Workington, it's very humid, and Wigan are running it here. That was Paul to Connolly, and Connolly, who had his best season last season, scored 30 tries, takes the tackle, and Workington drive him into the ground. Paul Burns is there. So too is Penrice. Connolly picks himself up. Twiggamala. Cassidy hands it off and gets it away to Hall. Good tackling though this by Workington.
Tremendous work from the second marker, and that is important because this man who's kicking the football, Sean Edwards, they've got to keep a good eye on him.
What a first take though by Peter Livett.
You could see that Henry Paul was charging through to him. Never took his eyes off the football. That's a great confidence booster.
Dean Marwood, smallest man on the field, crunched by two of the biggest, Twiggamala and Farrell. This is David Frace. New boy in the Workington Town ranks. Here's McGinty. They know all about him at Wigan. McGinty, who said in the papers this week that he thought that Workington could maybe shock this Wigan outfit. And that article, I can tell you, was pinned up in the Central Park dressing room for all the Wigan players to read. Good deep kick to the corner. Radlinski has to pick it up. Ahead of him is Mackenzie, and Mackenzie brings him down with a little bit of help from the flying McGinty.
Good play from the hooker there, Phil Mackenzie. Pushed the ball well away from the fullback, Radlinski, and was the first man on the chase. This game is being played at such a hectic pace. Surely the mistake will come soon.
And Workington are getting stuck in, but perhaps a little bit overzealous with that challenge.
Penrice it was, swinging right arm, there it is. Well, that's silly play. They've kicked the ball right down into the Wigan quarter, and then they give away all that possession and territory with a silly swinging right arm.
Paul Penrice, long-serving Town star, his debut way back in 1987. Edwards takes the penalty, finds touch. Martin Hall will restart. Here's O'Connor. What a big chance tonight for O'Connor to establish himself in this Wigan side. Neil Cowie had a great season last season, but he's coming under pressure this time from O'Connor and Barry McDermott. And they're flying in, Workington, on these tackles, and generally they're pretty legal. Here's Skerrett.
Oh, plenty of words being exchanged there. Skerrett's not too happy with that.
It's Edwards who switches the direction of play to Henry Paul. Henry Paul is cut down. Now Edwards again, running off in. is Radlinski, and there's Farrell, and Farrell looked out wide for a fire, and a fire wasn't there. He is now at dummy half. He finds Edwards. Edwards hoists the diagonal kick. He's looking for Twiggamala. Great take though on that far side. And what's more, the referee brings it back.
What a super kick from Shaun Edwards, but didn't he take it well there? Johnson did absolutely wonderful there, but he leaped through it.
He wasn't in the in-goal area when he collected it. He was tackled dead, and that's why we have this drop out underneath the sticks. Tremendous take, though, from the South African winger.
Especially when you got the likes of Twiggamala coming onto it.
Well, Martin Afire attracts quite a bit of attention all round the big league scene, and I think, Steve-O, with that haircut this year, he'll be attracting even more.
Well, the way that the Workington town is tackling, they really are getting involved with it. And you can see that they're forcing Wigan back down the middle all the time. That's because the centres are moving up quickly. The experience of Shaun Edwards, I'm sure he's trying to slow things down.
Twiggamala injects the pace to Connolly. Out wide, they go to Radlinski. And Radlinski, does he get the touchdown? The referee checks, and Radlinski's try-scoring exploits continue. The first try of the season for Wigan in the big league, and it goes to Chris Radlinski.
All came about with a beautiful pass from Shaun Edwards. See how we used the two dummy runners there, and you can see that the Workington town defence just hesitated. Once they'd sucked in Burns, Connolly did the best, and the fullback Radlinski in there, creating the overlap. This is it, the two dummies. Look at the two dummy runners there. They just held off enough, and that was it. Burns was in two minds. He had to commit himself. So did Penrice, but this youngster in for a try. Well worked.
Well, Chris Radlinski, 6 tries in 3 at the end of last season. 18 tries in 23 appearances before tonight. That's 19 in 23 appearances and something like 8 minutes. Fantastic return for 19-year-old Chris Radlinski. From one 19-year-old to a veteran of 20. Andrew Farrell, 61 goals last season. Now he is taking over the goal-kicking responsibility from Frano Botica. And this is a Botica-esque type of kick from way out on the touchline. It's on its way. He's kicked it, you know. Andy Farrell seemed to get right underneath that, but it had the legs to get over the bar.
The experience of Shaun Edwards. You can see the circled players, defenders, the two dummy runners, and once the ball was sent in between, it's a move that Wigan do to perfection. You can see how the overlap's created. Well done, Radlinski. That is a well-worked try. A try from a professional side.
So Marwood restarts for Workington Town. They trail here by 6 points to 0. We have 9 minutes gone. And Simon Horton with that drive upfield from the kickoff. Scampering in to take over responsibility at dummy half was Jason Robinson. Cut down by McGinty, who's getting through a lot of work in the tackling early on. This is Martin Hall. And just for a moment, Workington, they stood off him. And he made some wonderful ground at Hall. Midway inside the Workington half now. Farrell to Edwards. Edwards out wide to Henry Paul. Steps inside. Gets away from one. No one there for the pass inside. Frace was tracking him down. But it was good work by Wayne Kitchen. He was the man who reacted first.
It was a very poor play, though, from Henry Paul. It was tremendous skills that got him through in the first place. And then he just threw the ball away very early in the tackle count. But Workington, they must be kicking themselves. Remember, it was that silly swinging arm from Penrice when Workington had Wigan penned down in their own quarter, and it's allowed Wigan to come up and collect 6 points.
This is only the 3rd time in the opening 10 minutes that Workington have had the ball in their hands, and Mackenzie just drills the ball along the line and says, well, we'll try and play Wigan in their own quarter.
The experienced hooker there, realising that the fire is not back in the position. He knows the importance, and he also knows the importance of making sure that Workington do not do anything stupid now. You have to apply pressure to Wigan if you've any chance of winning this game.
Home form was crucial last season for Workington Town, as they'd secured their place in the Super League. They've been beaten just once in 1995 here. That by Warrington in March. And really, they have to capitalise on that sort of form. And there's a mistake from Twiggamala, a knock-on.
Well, the interesting thing is, was Martin fired offside? Pretty close. Either way, Workington will get the head and feed. Wasn't the best pass. The big fella couldn't drag it in, not even at the second attempt. That's the type of pressure that Workington were looking for.
Well, this big crowd at Derwent Park, and really rugby league is top of the pops here in this part of the world. They love the game, and they would love to see Workington Town get across the line. Wigan have made a couple of handling errors, but crucially, they lead 6-0. And that was Paul Burns, who was hauled down by Simon Horton. This now is Roland Phillips. He unloads the ball to Mackenzie. Mackenzie keeps the movement going to Marwood. This is Kitchen. Kitchen straightening it up and dragging Workington to within 3 metres of the line. Mackenzie the dummy half. Marwood into Roland Phillips. Phillips who will take them on. Good defence though from O'Connor and Hall. Marwood, little kick along the ground. It bounced unkindly, but didn't Radlinski take it well?
Great position there from the youngster at full back. Marwood realising last tackle, keeping the ball low. It just popped up nicely for the youngster Radlinski. But this is where it's important now that the Town really do get their defensive act together, try to force Wigan into their own quarter so that the kick wouldn't go too far.
It's Wigan in possession with Edwards, and he gets it away to Twiggamala, and Twiggamala again marauds his way downfield. Is halted though, and Robinson, what an elusive character Robinson is. Look at the way he dances around the tacklers. Couldn't get away from those two though. Here's Edwards on halfway. Hammers the ball again diagonally. Well taken by Penrice, and immediately was hit by a fire. That was a great run and chase from the fire.
Oh, great defence. Neat little chip over the top. Sean Edwards, the fire knew exactly what to do. Really did get the shoulder behind the tackle. There's some crunches on out there.
Penrice to Marwood. Oh, and he drops it. Wigan have the ball back. That was a mistake by the centre, Paul Burns. Here's Connolly. Wigan then in possession and in the Workington half. And the pass was timed almost to perfection for Twiggamala. Frace was working hard there in defence. They're attacking the blind side with O'Connor. He steps through one challenge. He's still going. And it was Mark Johnson who stuck well to the task. Hall is the dummy half for Wigan. He is Andrew Farrell, and now Edwards. Lovely short ball to Horton, and Horton will race in. Oh, that's a great try. It looks like Horton has never been anywhere else other than in this first team. He waited for that pass, and he timed the run to perfection. That was a super try. And listen to the silence round Derwent Park. The Toon Army can't believe this.
Put this down to Sean Edwards again. See how he just uses the dummy runner. They thought Twiggamala was coming through. They held off, and the big second rower, Simon Horton. Tremendous stride as this youngster. That is a well-worked try, and once again it was Sean Edwards that created it. That's the error again. So often it was Burns that dropped the ball. Another mistake, and Wigan bounced straight through. Look at this superb pass. See how he just held him there. They held off enough. You can't do that for a big, long striding second rower. That is a great try. See how he just turned on the inside. Twiggamala they thought was coming. He switched to this guy. That is excellent football.
So a try tonight for Horton, a try last week in Dublin, a try in the Premiership final. No wonder they didn't get the chequebook out to replace Dennis Betts. And Andrew Farrell, this time a lot closer to the woodwork. 1 from 1, 8 from 9 last week. And this time he pulls it wide. So Workington 0, Wigan 10.
Twiggamala's the man arrowed on the inside. That's who they expect. They turn, shimmy of the body, and look at that. Talk about putting someone through a gap. That is excellent rugby league football. Skills, wonderful stuff.
Simon Horton rapidly establishing himself in this Wigan side. Workington trailing then 10-0 to the champions, 16 minutes gone. A lot of people tuning in all round the country tonight, of course, for the big league kickoff. And the Great Britain Amateur Rugby League team are at present in Johannesburg in South Africa, and they're watching this broadcast live on the eve of their second and final test match against the South African Rhinos. And can we wish them well as they prepare to play for their country? We certainly will. Of course, the Sky Sports pictures go all around the world as far as the big league is concerned. South Africa now, New Zealand and Australia. I'm watching as the kick over the top from Farrell is collected in goal by Livett, and he's in trouble. He's caught, and that will be a dropout from underneath his own sticks.
What a season this youngster Andrew Farrell is having. Man of the match in Dublin last week against Leeds. He really is having a great start. What a star.
Yes, a man filling not only Philip Clark's number 13 jersey, but also the boots of Frano Botica. But a giant in the game. This is Cassidy. Cassidy to the 20-metre mark. Hall the dummy half. And deciding to take it on his own haul. This now is a fire. A fire scampering and dancing across the face of the play. Tracked by Frace, but he still manages to get it away to Robinson. Robinson, scampering run from Robinson! Oh, and Workington doing well to cut him down, just short. But that looked like a spectacular Robinson try, and he's got the penalty anyway. And someone's on his way to the sin bin.
It's got to be professional foul.
It's Peter Livett. In his first match in the big league, Livett takes 10.
Desperation there from the full-back. He had no intention of releasing him, but what a great run from Robinson. First we saw a fire come all the way across from the left, slipped the ball back on the inside. Livett gets his first sin bin in professional rugby league. There's the switch there from O'Fire. Look at the skills of this guy. In, out, step. Oh, this is superb rugby league football at its best. Look at that. Standing start, goose step, side step, in and out, body swerve. That deserved a try. All it got was a sin bin.
Lance Todd Trophy winner at Wembley in the Challenge Cup final, 2 tries against Leeds. And Jason Robinson is only 21 years of age as well. Andy Farrell then, this the easiest kick he's had all night. These are the ones, he says, that give him the pressure. Not expected to kick him out wide, expected to kick those, and misses. He hit the post. Well, 2 easy kicks from Farrell missed. 1 difficult one from the touchline kicked, and Wigan have got the ball back after a mistake from Penrice. This is O'Connor who's given it to Twiggamala. Twiggamala to Robinson. Here he goes again.
Well, another mistake there from Penrice. He's the man that gave away the penalty that allowed Wigan the first try so early in the tackle count.
Edwards taking the return pass from Farrell and then finding Henry Paul. Paul out wide to Twiggamala, and Twiggamala takes some stopping. But David Frace and Mark Johnson came up with the answer then. O'Connor trying to barge his way to the line and getting so close. The Derwent Park crowd holding its breath as Wigan continue this attack. Over the top, looking for Skerrett. The ball bounces and McGinty will pick it up for Workington Town to a huge sigh of relief.
A little bit too smart there from Sean Edwards. He threw the dummy, got the half gap and tried to get the ball over the top. He knew that Skerrett was going to be around. Good work from Holgate to lose forward.
Armstrong dumped to the ground by Skerrett. Now can Workington's 12 men, that's Gary Schubert, can they make Wigan pay, but they're still in their own half and tackling like that from Cassidy. The ball's come free.
They've lost it. That'll be the scrum down. Well, the mistakes are coming fast and furious, I'm afraid, from this Workington town side. The impact there, Simon Horton coming over the top, Cassidy around. And it's Holgate, loses the football. That is Workington's problem at the moment. They are not playing out their complement of 6, and that just adds even more pressure, especially when a Wigan side has got a 10-point lead like that.
Farrell shoots out from the back of the scrum and gives it to Wigamala. Schubert is there to pull him down, along with Wayne Kitchen. Now Farrell again, trying to hand off the tackler, David Frace. Frace doing well, sticking to the task well. Hall at dummy half. Skerrett now. Skerrett ducking and bobbing and weaving. Edwards. Paul. Edwards again. Looks for Connolly and finds him. Connolly drags it out wide to a Fire, who sees a little gap. Escapes one. Passes the ball to Edwards, who in turn gives it to Henry Paul. Here's Radlinski. Now a Fire. O'Connolly wants it out wide. It's with Cassidy. Connolly's there. Cassidy won't need him. And Cassidy scores. And that's a typical Wigan try. They keep the ball alive. They mesmerise the opposition with their passing and their control of the football. And eventually the door opens and Cassidy shoots through.
Once again, all from a Workington mistake. Wigan get the possession. Sit back. Enjoy this. This is superb football. See how the Wigan players run away unselfishly. Even when they don't get the football, they run as decoys, dummy runners, keep the ball alive. Watch this little pass there. And further on, watch the superb pass from Martin O'Fire. This is it coming up. Look how he draws them in. That is like a prop forward. That is skills. And the tireless work of Cassidy finishes it off. They are in fine form. Just superb football. The run around. Look how the dummy runner goes. Radlinski made that break. Inside there for a Fire. They're queuing up to help. Edwards first. Look at them. He had about 5 or 6. Move it around. This is a superb pass. Oh, speed, little dummy, little shimmy, and 4 points.
Mick Cassidy's try, and O'Farrell attempts to improve it, and he misses another. Can't blame him for that one, though. It was way out on the touchline. 14-0. Farrell's missed 3. It could be a lot worse. Mick Cassidy with the try. Steve-O, 14-0 Wigan. Are you going to hedge that bet about Saints in the Championship?
Well, we've got a long way to go. You never write off Wigan. Well, I certainly don't.
Well, you just did before the match.
No. You never write them off. I'm just saying that they're a great side. I'm allowed for my selection, and I just think that Saints will shade them this time. But you've got to admire the wonderful performance that they've put on in this first 20 minutes.
And what about Billy Idle there?
It has been superb. You're trying to make me laugh and I won't. Who's Billy Idle?
Oh, you are showing your age now. This is Horton. Terrific start by the champions. They want this Centenary Championship. They want that cup to be residing at Central Park forevermore. And here's O'Connor. The great thing about this Wigan side, though, Steve-O, that nobody is secure of their place. They're all obviously out there tonight, trying to prove the point, trying to win the match, of course, but trying to make sure that nobody comes in and picks up these places.
That's play on. Good refereeing there by Stuart Cummings. It definitely came off a Workington hand, so therefore it's back to the tackle count. See the ball there, they're trying to panic. Came off Roland Phillips's hand.
Radlinski, they're attacking this left-hand side again with Connolly, and Connolly stands, looks to get the ball away, but they wrap him up. That's much better play. Penrice round the back of him, prevented the ball coming out, but Wigan still haven't finished. A Fire, and a Fire season starts. Fire with the try. His first of the season, the game's leading try scorer last season with 53, and he's off the mark.
Once again, the beautiful pass from Sean Edwards. Look at that. Dummy runner on the back on the inside was Horton, and the winger eager to get to it. Full credit also to this Wigan coach, Graham West. He knew it was going to be pretty tough against this Workington outfit, but that was a superb try. They have not mixed it down the middle, haven't the forwards, Wigan. They've just wanted to keep this ball alive. See how the dummy runner there, Horton, it was enough to do it, but the wingmen are coming through. They are working well. All the hours on the training paddock are showing out there in this, the first game of the big league. Quite happy, isn't he?
And why not? Workington Town down to 12 men, and while Livett has been off the field, Wigan have scored 2. Farrell this time makes no mistake from bang in front, and it is now Wigan 20, Workington Town 0. And the defence of the championship is on course.
There's a Fire running on the angle, but you'll also see Horton come on the back. And you see how they just hesitated enough. That was enough for the flyer of Fire. Silky skills, well finished by Fire. No better finisher in the game than that guy.
Well, a new look, but some things anyway, never change. And Fire with the try. The last defeat for Wigan on day 1, 1991. And look at that possession in the first half. It's overwhelmingly Wigan's match. As you can see from the scoreline, 20 points to 0. Interestingly enough, the last time Workington won a match on day 1 was also 1991. Touch judges on. Eagle eye from the sidelines has seen something. Gary Schubert may be the culprit.
Little bit of a facial. Elbow as well going down. What me, sir. Horton it was that received it. There you see. Right elbow. Well spotted by the touch judge. Well, frustration creeping into this Workington outfit now. They know they are well and truly on the rack. They have not got into the swing of things as they would have liked. The caretaker coaches Bill McKenzie and Billy McGinty knew that it was going to be tough, but they certainly haven't helped themselves. Silly mistakes have allowed Wigan to build a platform, and at 20-0, that's not bad, is it?
That's the 5th penalty to this Wigan side. Workington not only making the mistakes, but really creating harry-carry by giving Wigan so much possession. And here they come again. Fires after his second, gets the ball away to Radlinski. He too after his second. This is Henry Paul.
There you see the swinging arm. Colin Armstrong it was.
Peter Livett has returned to the Workington side. Wigan have run in 2 tries while he's been absent, and they look as though they're capable of running in more, even though Workington are back to a full complement of 13. This is Mick Cassidy, and he's found Robinson. Good tackling though from Johnson. Workington have hardly had hold of the football in this first half. A half an hour that has been disastrous from their point of view. And every time Wigan drop the ball, it goes backwards and into Cherry and White hoops. And here's Horton, who will score again. They're cutting Workington to ribbons. They're scoring almost at will. That's Horton's second try of this opening night of the season.
Sean Edwards again. He is absolutely demoralising this Workington outfit. The delayed pass. Ball went lucky, bounced away. Hall it was that got it to Edwards. Look at this little dummy and pass. He timed his run to perfection, did Simon Horton. There was never any doubt. Peter Livett had no chance. Silky skills on show tonight. You have to admire them. The strength of Skerritt and the ability to try to keep the ball alive. Okay, wasn't the best pass, but this was superb. Look at that. Holgate sucked into it, in and out. This is a forward. He stepped like a 3/4. They are on fire, and Sean Edwards has brought along plenty of fuel.
Andy Farrell then 2 from 5. Bang in front again. It should be 3 from 6 in a moment. And it most certainly is. So Workington Town 0, the champions 26. Familiar story here at Derwent Park. Simon Horton, 2 tries here tonight. The man filling in for Dennis Betts, now departed to the Auckland Warriors. But my word, no wonder Wigan have kept their money safely in the bank. Let's go down to Bill. He's got some news of changes.
Very quick change made by Wigan. Scott Quinnell has come on and Kelvin Skerritt has come off, I think with a slight knock. He's been certainly involved in some of the beefier confrontations. Quinnell on, and that is a miraculous recovery from Quinnell, who picked up an ankle ligament injury in the Locker Cup game against Warrington. It was thought he was going to be out for several weeks. Well, he's back in action, and apparently he has been an impressive figure in the Wigan weights room, where he has outworked everybody else when it comes to doing the weights. And it looks as though he is going to be in formidable shape for this season. We're about to see.
Yes, he's been in great form off the field, as you say, Bill, in the training room and on the training field.
I'm afraid, though, Eddie, this Workington outfit are losing the plot. They gave away a penalty for being offside, and then they had a few words to say to Stuart Cummings, who marched them back, rightfully so, an extra 10.
So it means that Wigan now are once again in the Workington quarter, and they're attacking down this left-hand touchline again. Cassidy is hauled down and going on his own from dummy half and trying to get the ball down. The referee just taking a look. He was a couple of centimetres short, Farrell. This is Edwards again. Long pass into the arms of Paul. Long pass, first bounce to Twiggamala, who picked it up one-handed, but then lost it under the challenge from Frace.
One of the few mistakes from this Wigan outfit in the first 32 minutes. It was pretty close, wasn't he, Farrell? Thought about reaching out a second occasion. That would have been a double movement.
Gary Schubert has been taken off and Peter Riley has come on. Just one full appearance all last season for the 27-year-old Riley. Asking a lot of him to try and shore up the defences tonight. Steve-O, they've got a problem, Workington, in that both their coaches, McKenzie and McGuinty, are out there on the field. There's Riley, by the way, but both the coaches are out there on the field, Phil McKenzie and Billy McGuinty. How do they change things?
Well, it's pretty difficult. They, of course, would have assistants out there sort of looking on from the grandstand, and they will report to him in the half-time break. But oh, here's Frace away.
David Frace. The young fullback Radlinski, though, standing up to the challenge well. Here come Workington at last with Marwood. He hoists a high kick. Holgate's after it. Paul is there, and Paul collects it. And was he tackled within the field of play? Yes, he was. Dragged over into the in-goal area. It'll be a Wigan dropout.
Good play from Stephen Holgate there. He really was first on the scene. But good play also by Henry Paul. He took it under a lot of pressure. But the biggest problem is not a matter of whether McKenzie and Billy McGuinty can sort it out at half-time. The thing is that Workington have never been allowed to get into the swing of things. They have not run out their full complement of 6. They've never, ever tried at the opportunity to build.
Well, can they build here now with Armstrong? Big, strong run from Armstrong to the 20-metre line. Marwood. He's got Riley running off him, and McGuinty. 3 cherry and white hoops haul him down. McKenzie to Riley again. Coming up to 5 minutes to half-time. This now is Holgate. Last tackle for Workington. At last they've seen through a set of 6. Kitchen dabs the ball forward. That bounced off a Wigan player. Is it play on? Referee still has the hand up for last tackle. That will be the turnover. The referee's got to be convinced that the Wigan player made a play for the ball. And now Wigan have a penalty.
Yes, the ball made contact to Farrell. There was nothing that Farrell could do. Good refereeing. Is that a good game, Stuart Cummings? This is the reason for the penalty. You can see the second marker has moved away. You must stand directly behind. He's not missing much, isn't the merry whistleblower tonight, Mr. Cummings. And it's been pretty torrid out there. And again, a few words of wisdom from a Workington Town player.
Overwhelming penalty count, though, Steve-o. You can't give Wigan 7 penalties.
Well, I've given 2 more for back-chatting. It's a professional game. They've got 2 coaches out on the paddock. If you can't tell your players when you're out there playing with them, when can you?
Less than 4 to half-time. Wigan 26-0 up. And Workington have the penalty. Wigan did not play the ball properly.
Well, he's got him for staying playing the ball while he's still crouched down. When you've got to come up first, you've got to pick the ball up and then put it down and then play it correctly. That's the new edict from Greg McCallum. I'm sure Mr. McCallum will have a big smile on his face with a performance from Stuart Cummings. Maybe they might get a rise this year, the referees.
Another penalty to Workington, second in quick succession. David Frace taking it quickly.
Sean Edwards striking for the ball prematurely.
That's Riley, plays the ball to Holgate, he finds Marwood. This now is Stephen Holgate. Marwood to Kitchen. Kitchen sees a big space ahead for his centre, Paul Burns, and Burns has come up with the first Workington try. Put that down to the quick thinking of David Frace. He took the penalty very, very quickly and caught Wigan almost cold.
The first time they've had the opportunity to build and they've been rewarded with 4. Good run there from Armstrong as the dummy runner. And the big centre strides over. There was no one in attendance. Not a double movement. Beautiful play from Kitching. See how he just hesitated there. He's sucking Connolly and Paul. Well played. They fully deserve that. The first opportunity to apply the pressure, and they're rewarded with the 4.
Well, Paul Burns on his 200th appearance in club football for Barrow and Workington Town. He's the man who scored the first Workington Town try in the big league 12 months ago against Leeds. And he's done exactly the same here tonight. This time it's against Wigan. Marwood with the conversion attempt. 112 goals for Marwood last season. 1 for Marwood now. And Marwood says to the crowd, come on, get behind us. 26-6.
You see how Armstrong is going to run the dummy runner there, and you've got Paul and Connolly. They take it. That left the gap. Beautiful pass there. They were left stranded. The normally strong Wigan defence has been penetrated there. And that will give them some hope to go into the half-time break. Boy, they needed it.
Yes, Workington at last with something to shout about in the last minute of this first half. Now, the important thing from their point of view now is not to concede another in the next 60 seconds or so. Come on, come on! Riley's made a difference since he came on. Didn't think it was possible that he could with all that pressure on this Workington side, but number 17, Peter Riley, has done just that.
Well, it looks like referee Cummings has shouted held. Now, it should be a penalty. Now, if he calls held here, and then the ball goes through, now, unless Stuart Cummings has probably made a mistake, he did shake his head and said, sorry, fellas. Well, that's a weird one, especially with Wigan getting the head and feet.
Here's Farrell, and he almost runs over the top of Wayne Kitchen. There's the half-time siren. Workington, at least as far as they're concerned, no more damage done in that first half that was in danger of slipping away from them. Martin Afire with his customary try, 1 of 5 scored in that first half. Terry O'Connor just jogging off. He's had a good first half also. Horton with 2 tries. Sean Edwards, though, the master, the engineer-in-chief, the man who has cut Workington Town to ribbons. And the champions, well, it's business as usual, isn't it? Wigan 26, Workington 6.
You're watching Sky Sports.